It's 7:30am, meaning only one thing. It's time for another Monday morning mullover with me, Carol Dogherty, and my in-house guest, Richard Woof. Richard, good morning.
Morning, Carol.
Conflict between Israel and Palestinians is a bitter inheritance from the 20th century. The ongoing fight to decide who has the right to stay there still wears on. Richard, what do you think, if anything, there could be done to stop this ever-waging war? And do you think, as a Westerner, we are less likely to get involved when an international conflict centres itself on religion?
Well, Carol, I think the question with Israel isn't so much what, isn't so much how, but it's more why. Why is it that these two groups of people who, if you took them somewhere else, say Sweden, York, Cornwall, would probably get along just fine.
Oh, I'm not...
What is it about that place?
The Jewish Holy Land.
Oh, call it what you will. What I'm saying is that place seems to an outsider to be cursed.
Cursed.
Yeah, and let me let you in on something. I have actually been to Israel.
You have?
In about 2006, I'd been, I don't know, 15, private school, so got to go see a lot of the world. And I've got to say, even at that age, I was looking around Israel and thinking, I hope I can say this, it's kind of a shithole.
No.
Well, no it is.
What do you mean, that?
Just a dump. It's a dump. It is a dump. It's very arid.
Arid.
Very arid. You walk around Israel, particularly around the West Bank, you can get some very bad vibes off people. Like you're constantly walking on eggshells.
Right.
You know the feeling at a funeral, where you always feel like you're trying to say the right thing, and at the same time not sure what you did wrong.
Do you not think that what you're describing there, that feeling could be because of the conflict that we are trying to...
I don't know, maybe, yeah. Could be because it's so arid.
Right.
It has been scientifically proven that if you are dehydrated, you are more likely to snap. Let me tell you something else. I cannot stand places where everyone looks the same. It comes from having a fear of clones. When I was a young child, I was plagued with nightmares where I was cloned. Sometimes it was my decision, sometimes it was against my will.
Right.
And the clone worked at first, but then tied me up with electrical wire, went to my house where my wife was, and have you seen Face Off?
No.
Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, Israel, everyone looks the same. And I find that very unnerving. Almost like I don't belong there.
Other than the West Bank, what parts of Israel did you go to?
All over the place. We did Bethlehem,
Okay.
we did Nazareth,
Yeah.
we did Jerusalem.
Okay.
All very interesting to see, sort of places,
Of course.
landmarks from the Bible. Couldn't find the Ark, a bit of a disappointment. I think the Harry Potter tour is a lot better, in my opinion. Depends which books you're more into, really, but it's very clear, it's very compact, very reasonable, and very central. The staff are a bit much, to be honest.
What?
Well, they do this whole sort of routine when you get there. Hands up if you're a Harry Potter fan. It's like, I'm here, aren't I? I'm dressed as Hedwig. What do you want?
The original point...
Hands up if you're in Gryffindor. What's that all about?
If we could get back to Israel...
We're muggles.
Mm-hmm.
And we understand that that's fictional.
Richard, if we could go back
If you were going to Israel, they wouldn't say, hands up if you're a fan of the Bible.
No, they probably wouldn't. Going back to the conflict itself and the places that...
And the butterbeer, rank.
Yeah.
Rank.
Really.
Rank.
Yeah. Anyway, to Jerusalem, did you visit the Church of the Holy Sepulchre?
We did, yes.
Okay, and what did you think?
Very busy. Packed, in fact. Really difficult to see anything, to have any real moments of contemplation. It was just sort of cloaks and feet. And I was just looking around and it was arid, everyone was sweating,
Yeah.
everyone looked dour, everyone looked the same, and I was just thinking, really? People are fighting over this? This sandy, arid, dour dump. I wouldn't fight for it.
No.
I wouldn't fight over it. I wouldn't toss a coin for it. Marbella. I might fight for Marbella. Parts of northern Scotland. The Deep in Hull.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to the Deep?
I have, yes.
I would fight for the Deep.
Okay.
I'd fight stripped to the waist with a wolf
Wolf.
for the Deep.
Okay.
But not Israel.
No.
I think that's why all the smart Jews move. I mean, that last day with the church was so unpleasant.
Okay, yes.
So hot.
Yeah. Don't you think that maybe...
Oh, and I had diarrhoea. Yeah, if Israel was on the Monopoly board, it would be it wouldn't even be a brown.
No.
It would be the electric company. And the electric company is shit. I don't even know why they put it there.
Well, thank you very much, Richard. I can always rely on your unique view on the world. Views, I might add, aren't necessarily shared by the programme or the station or myself. Please feel free to email your thoughts on this issue, and Richard and I will be back in just a few moments to discuss whatever you send in. For now, here's Yesterday's Milk with their new hit, Why Do You Only Call Me When I'm Out? Welcome back to Monday Morning Mullovers with me, Carol Dogherty, and Richard Woof.
Welcome.
Today we've been discussing Israel, and it seems like a lot of you out there feel very strongly about the issue and also Richard's take on the matter. Wallace from Durham writes, I find it utterly deplorable that Mr. Woof is allowed to discuss the conflict in Israel from the perspective of the snobbish tourist. He needs to get perspective. What do you think about this, Richard?
I think what you've got there, Carol, is a common internet troll, distinguishable only from a real troll by the fact that, sadly, Wallace will not be turned to stone by daylight. I've got one here from Eliza in Hebden Bridge. She writes, went to the Harry Potter tour last week with my daughter 6 and son 8. All tried butterbeer, all regretted it. My daughter said it tasted like piss. Couldn't agree more, Eliza. Something has to change.
Chocolate Pirate from Keighley writes, Mr. Woof has no concept of the immense emotional and spiritual bond that the Jewish people feel about their homeland. It is a direct insult not only to the Jews, but also the Palestinians, that he would belittle such a volatile and bitter dispute by complaining about the effect the trip had on his bowels. What an idiot. How do you react to that, Richard?
Well, Chocolate Pirate clearly doesn't know that the effect on my bowels was as bitter and explosive as any dispute Israel has seen so far.
Okay. Another one, Jenny from Islington says, my boyfriend's Jewish and he loves visiting his family in Israel, regardless of the climate or anything else.
Oh, well, I mean, some people are better in the heat than others. Bill from Swansea has put, Richard Woof, you legend. Everything you said about the Warner Brothers Harry Potter tour was right on the money. I loved it, just wish the staff were able to control themselves. I'm 35 and felt like I was being treated like a toddler. The books and films are aimed at young adults, not children. Very true, Bill. If you work at a Harry Potter tour, I think the resounding message from this morning has been, great job, keep it up, but maybe tone it down a bit.
Josie from Oxford comments that Hull and the deep in Hull is in no way comparable to Israel or anything going on there.
No, Israel's shit.
Okay.
Just time for a last one. Helen from Guiseley writes, Richard, my husband and I have been playing Monopoly now for 30 plus years. We have both always found the electric company completely redundant. Well, I'm not the only one. If you've been listening in this morning and you too have always resented the electric company's inclusion on the Monopoly board, might I suggest carving it off with a Stanley knife and just writing roll again?
It is the end of the show. It's 7:40 a.m, meaning it's time to say goodbye to all of you and thank you for tuning in to Monday Morning Mullovers with me, Carol Dogherty, and you, Richard Woof. Thank you.
No, thank you.